Hello! How are you doing tonight? I hope the captions are working. We'll see here in just a moment. The captions monitor is capturing. Oh, the color is bad. Hang on. The hard thing with the captions. Oh, something didn't save correctly. That's what happened. The hard thing with the captions tool that I have is that the heck? Apparently the font I was using has been uninstalled from my computer. That's not good. Or at least it looks like OBS no longer recognizes it. These are the things that happen when you the things that happen when you reinstall or when you update your computer. Don't ever update Windows computer. I am so looking forward to not. Okay, there we go. Now it seems to have stopped working. Do. For some reason, my captions tool just stopped working entirely again. This is making me angry. Oh. I'm really looking forward to not being on Windows ever again soon. I will never use a Windows computer again. I would just be on Linux full time if any of my equipment worked with Linux. Come on. Why aren't you working all of a sudden? Come on. Apparently it decided to get huge. I don't know why it broke this thing all of a sudden. Just out of nowhere, it stopped working again. Makes me angry. Accessibility is important to me. And I put a lot of work into trying to make this thing work. And it seems like every time I get it working, basically something in Windows breaks and makes it stop working again. Almost like Windows is trying to get me to spend money on their extremely expensive and poorly executed AI program for doing voice to text. Anyway, welcome to the stream. Sorry about that little bit of a rant. I'm going to start over now. I'm starting over. I'm just going to pop back to starting soon and come back. Hey, welcome to the stream. I hope everybody's having a great night. I know I'm not having a bad night. I'm having a okay time. I had a pretty nice day, a little productive. I have almost finished the massive project I've been working on to overhaul the entire Taco Viking website so that all of my stuff is in an updated format. I'm almost through it. I've got about 8 stickers left to do, and then just postcards, and I will be done. And that will be awesome. As you can see, though, I have updated the format of the just layout here. I've put together a new layout, mostly just because I felt like I needed an update, needed a change, but also because I started using Twitch's native alerts and things just to run a little smoother on stuff. We'll see how it keeps going. Anyway, welcome to the show. Tonight we are continuing our work on the coloring book with the letter O. And O is for Otter. But I don't know what my otter is going to be doing yet. I haven't decided. Otters have all kinds of things going for them. They're cuter than the average animal. I don't know what an otter's like primary... what's the word I'm looking for here? Interests. Hobbies. What do otters do in their spare time? What is an otter's primary hobbies? That's what we are about to figure out. So I know I want to do an otter. That's my number one thing is otter. But I need otter hobbies. Hobbies. And we're not going to use outdoor blah, blah, blah to cheat our way into something. Origami. Origami could be a good one. An otter could be an origami. That's a possibility there. Let's see. Ooh. An otter that's into oenology. I think that's how that word's spelled. I've never actually heard that word spoken out loud. That's the study of wine chemistry. Not the study of wines, not like becoming a sommelier, but like literally the study of chemistry of making wine. Ooh, how about an otter occultist? That feels right up my alley. Could be a fun one there. Ooh, we could have an otter opera singer. Or an otter who's really into opera. Although we just did an animal geek that's really into ninja movies. And I feel like having back-to-back fans, like stands in a row would be kind of I don't know, cheaty or redundant. There is we could have oil painting. An otter artist would be easy to draw. And how about occupations? Let's start with O. Oh. Offshore engineer. Ophthalmologist. Okay, I gotta say, I'm going to put nothing else on this list. I'm really leaning towards these 3 because I think all 3 of them would be fun to draw. And if it's fun to draw, it'll probably be fun to color. So that's where my head is. Also, I'm going to put something over here Oh, nope. If I minimize that, it goes away. Dang it. I just want something dark over the top of the screen so it's not bright white light blaring in my face. Hi, Leo. How's it going? So where I'm at here is I'm going to draw an otter. And I'm going to draw an otter who's into oenology or wine, an occultist, or an oil painter. And I was saying, I think all three of these would be fun to draw. If they're fun to draw, they'll probably be fun to color. I think the other thing that might weigh me out here, so I'm just going to get rid of origami and opera. Although, like Otter wearing the classic like Valkyrie opera outfit could be really fun too. I'm going to rule out oenology. First of all, because I'm not entirely sure I'm saying that word correctly. And also because a large portion of the people who buy this coloring book will probably end up being children. And wine collecting probably isn't necessarily a thing that's going to be down their alley. As an otter being my favorite cute animal, as an oil painter, you know my vote. Okay, then that settles it. We're going otter oil painter. I am fine with that. Also, for the same reason that like oenology probably doesn't work, occultist probably won't be as satisfying. Oops, not a pattern, not oil pattern. He can paint his rocks. Okay, here's what I'm sure you mean like the otter could be painting the rocks, which would be very cute and very otter. But my thought when I read that, my head immediately went like, all of his paintings are oil paintings of little rocks. I think on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Captain Holt paints the same stone or rock or brick or something from different angles. That's all of his paintings are the same thing. Tonight's liquid consumption is spicy water, tasting like ice cream treats. This is orange cream, a clear American. I know they do, and that's why it would make sense for the otter to paint his own rock, but also like it's his favorite rock, so maybe it's just also his favorite subject to paint. And then that lets me draw an otter standing at an easel. So here's where I'm going to start. I'm going to start by grabbing a reference image for an otter, because I have a pretty good idea of what otters are shaped like in my head. They're kind of chubby and pointy at the same time, and a little noodly, but also not. They're otters. I mean, we all know what otters look like. They hold hands as they float down the river. So I'm going to get myself a little reference image that I can work with here. And that's a good. And then I also want a reference image for like an oil painter. Just to give myself like the things I'm mixing here in my head, so I can have some things to pull back and forth off of. There we go. Okay. So I've got my otter pictures. I've got my painter pictures. I'm ready to go. I'm actually going to clear this off. I don't need it to say otter oil painter anymore. I'm going to start by laying out a bit of a scene here for myself. Just kind of, sketching this in. I want to have like maybe a little display down here. like just sitting here, like a little display table, sitting here with a rock on it. And then our otter will be like back here. Leaning around this easel. Doing this, the thing that painters do, the traditional artists do, where they like hold up their paintbrush to squint down one side of it so they can like get their perspective, you know. Little otter ears. This is all very rough in. I'm just kind of trying to set my composition right now. And of course this otter will be wearing a little beret because he's a painter and painters wear berets. And the other arm will come up here and be holding the canvas. And little otter legs down here. And this one is back here. Out this way. Except for he should not be on the horizon line. That doesn't make much sense. We'll increase his size and move him down. That. So he's got a little work in progress where he's painting his little otter rock, having a little happy time. And then in the background, we'll just put in like another little painting here of his rock. Like so. And then maybe even another one over here. Another little rock. Like that. So this is gonna be our rough. This is roughly the layout. I can't see what you're doing. What the heck? Why is this not updated? Okay, hang on just a second. That's very weird because like it was still projecting the screen, it was still showing the screen, but it hadn't updated in a long time. I've sketched in a bunch of stuff since then. Oh, stupid. Cannot. I'm having technical issues tonight. My captions tool wasn't working when I started the stream. Windows updated again. And every time Windows Update 11 updates, it gets worse. It becomes a bigger piece of crap. And frankly, I can't wait until I can afford a new computer and never have to use Windows again. I just hate it. It is driving me absolutely insane. So all of this work I did, you didn't see any of that rough sketching. That makes me very sad. Anyway, this is like my rough thumbnail sketch that I did. I'm actually going to redo most of this. This was real rough sketch work. So it's okay. So I'm actually gonna redo all of the sketching anyway. So we'll start with our horizon line. That's where I just like to have one in the background anyway. I'll do a new layer. And I'll start by drawing in my otter dude. Hopefully if I reopen my reference image to my otter, it won't freeze up again. Because that's what happened was I had my reference image opened over the top of my preview, so I couldn't actually see exactly what I was doing. All right. Little love noodle. I'm actually going to... when I was running a shop, when it forced a Windows update on us, the owner and I would show up like 3 hours early so we could undo the Windows update did. Yeah, and that's what makes me angry is I actually have automatic updates turned off entirely. And it still keeps like pushing them through. And it keeps pushing its crappy Microsoft AI Copilot is literally OpenAI's ChatGPT, but 4 versions crappier. So like it keeps forcing me to accept this AI crap that's like the worst version of AI available on the market right now. And I don't want it at all. Of course, my plan when I buy my new computer is I'm breaking down and finally I'm buying a Mac for the first time in like 30 years. I think it's worth buying one. But even then, like, it's got Apple Intelligence, and Apple Intelligence is also an outdated version of ChatGPT. It's a version of ChatGPT that has been surpassed by ChatGPT itself already. So, like, I don't even know why they bother. I don't know why they keep trying to force this crap on everybody. It's not worth it. Let's see. Otters have fun little nose. I'm going to just draw you in. I'm going to take a face out approach. All of the operating systems are getting worse and worse because, not to get into a rant about capitalism first thing in the stream, but late stage capitalism incentivizes garbage product making. The worse your product is, the faster you can sell a new product. You have no incentive to make a good product. So everything is garbage. I can't work like that. I wanted to take a nose out approach, and I just can't work that way. Tried to set a timer on my computer the other day. I couldn't even set a timer without signing in and updating, and it is absolutely unstable. Right? But none of my equipment will work in Linux. So that's where I'm at. It's being held captive, basically. I'm gonna bring a little cheeky bone. I said I want one eye to be closed. One eye is going to be open because it's this little otter dude is sizing up the rock. And then we'll do little ears. What shape are your ears, Mr. Otter? Give me a zoom in picture of otter ears. You look so cute. They're like this. They're little roundy guys. Like this. And then I think we're gonna need to come and just widen out this face into a little bit more of a point. His nose is a little pointier than like a cat or a dog nose, so we'll do that real fast. We'll pointy up this nose like that. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Oh, and they don't have, oh yeah, when their mouths are closed, they're not very wide. They have, it kind of looks like he's going, ooh, what's going on? Like that. And then little neck. Basically the body and the neck are the same thing, but we'll just like a little neck coming down into a lean like this. I'm gonna just do a little guidelines so I can know exactly where things are at on this dude. Little hips, little shoulders. It's looking a little bit too much like a cat still, and I'm not entirely sure why. What I've got going on that's making it look too much like a cat. Ooh. Maybe I need to go down. Take these cheeks out. Bring these cheeks around like this. And they do have whiskers. Now I'm looking at what other cartoonists have done to simplify the otter form. Like I said, it's looking a little bit too much like a cat. I'm not liking the way it looks like a cat right now. So I gotta figure that out. I gotta figure out how to make my otter look more otter and less feline. So I'll start redoing this nose. And then maybe maybe we switch these eyes up too. While I'm thinking about it here, while I'm working on this face, we'll switch these eyes up. Like that. I might have a little tongue hanging out because to me, artists are always like, you know. I only have my PC for gaming, and it's because less and less important. None of the games I play require me to have a PC specifically. Although I don't play games on consoles. All of the games I want to play will run on a Mac Mini M4 just fine when I get it. And maybe that's I'm still figuring out how to make this not look like a cat. My equipment will run on a Mac without any problem, but I could not get any of my equipment to run on Linux. Although other people have been successful, I have not yet been successful getting any of my equipment to run on Linux. Maybe a slight profile to his face to show a different snout. Yeah, I might have to, because he's just looking too cat-like. The problem is that small mammals are small mammals. They all have the same freaking facial structure. I'm in here. This. And also, if I change his face profile, it's going to be he's looking in the wrong direction. It changes the layout of the picture. But I'll make it work. It. Like there. You know what? Actually, I think this is not helping. None of this is helping at all. Otters are just look like what they look like. Actually, I think. Damn it. What might be the problem here is I've put his neck too skinny, I think. Maybe if I fluff out his body more. And also, like, I don't know. This is not working at all. None of this is working yet. Starting over. The only thing that was working there was the pose, but it was definitely looking like a cat. Otters have little round bellies. We'll start there. And maybe I make the head too round. That is also a problem. So maybe the head less round? I don't know. I don't like any of this. I'm not liking any of this art at all tonight. None of it looks right. I hate it when I'm beefing it so terribly. I can't figure out where I'm at, what I need to fix. Maybe if I give him a little like hair cue thing here. I think it's gonna work. I think it's just that otters look like cats, and that's all there is to it. And there's nothing going to fix that. When you simplify things into cartoons. All right. His little butt needs to come down. So his belly needs to come down to his ankles. That's also part of the problem here. Their little feet hang underneath their bellies. Then we'll do a little tail. Bring it. Paintbrush up. That maybe looks a little bit more like an otter. Still looking a lot like a cat. Easel. I gotta change everything about the fucking. Alright. Easel comes across like this. Oh. It's got a tilt. My hands are not cooperating tonight. That's too much of a tilt. That's better. And then have this other hand over here. Leaning way down like this. There. Maybe he's just holding his little thing. Maybe he's just holding it. You don't have to worry about him. having an easel. Get rid of this. Okay. Still not good enough. Let's see if I can clean this sketch up and make it actually look like something worth drawing here. So we'll bring the opacity down. Grab my good clean pencil. Let's see if we can do something about this. All right. We'll start with the nose. Okay. I'll have a little. Damn it. This. Also, why is this not the right size? Down. I actually want this to be pointy. They have pointed faces. They have pointy faces. And it drives me crazy that they have pointy faces because I don't think I've ever seen a single cartoon of an otter with a pointy face. Stay on the right layer. Jesus Christ. Can't do anything right tonight. I give up. I can't freaking draw tonight. Nothing is coming out right. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to recenter myself. Try to think this through. Figure out exactly why this isn't working for me. What it is I don't like about it. All right. So, otters. Funny little guys. From the side, they're shaped like this. That's an otter shape. But from the front, they're shaped like this. None of that works for me. None of that works for what I'm trying to pull off here. I'm trying to see if I can find better pictures that will help with what I'm trying to do. Okay. All right. I've got an idea. I'm going to start with the little round head. If I can freaking get my hand to actually just work. Okay. And then we're going to cut his face in quarters. Like we would any other dude, right? Then we're going to, no, actually, I'm gonna bring it even over. I'm gonna bring it over. I'm gonna go over like this and like this. And then I'm gonna go ahead and map out a little baseline like I normally would on a person. That's how I would do it. And then we'll bring this around and I need the side of your face, Otter man. One thing I can do. Yeah. Except I did it at an angle, so the normal tools don't really work. I'm going to do this, then this, and squish his head down, and bring it back to that angle. There we go. And this does not work the way I need. I need the face to be in the angle that I drew the face in originally. That's how the composition works. Without that, the composition just does not work. So I cannot do it any other way. It has to be done the right way. So I just need to stop worrying about it. Bring all of it together. Like this. Okay. Slide when I touch you, you piece of crap. Little ears. His head like this. And that's what might be the one of the problems might be I'm trying to draw this eye real big because I like big eyes, it makes things cute. But it's not giving me enough room to add like otters have a very distinctive line across their face. Not all of them do. But that'll help. Do no, I don't like that. Maybe. Actually, yeah, that is. I think that was the problem was that the head was too round before. And I just need to smush it down. It still needs to be smushed down a little more. So that's what I'm going to do here. Like that. Ears back. His head comes up over. so. And a little tummy. Like so. His little otter feet just barely sticking out from underneath his tummy. Very similar to the way a penguin might be in a cartoon character. This is the center of mass line. Shaped like this. Tail coming back behind him. Otters have surprisingly long tails. So here's the problem: otters just look like cats, guys. I'm sorry. They're cats that have been smashed down into otter shape. There is no difference. They're cats that make dog expressions. That's why they're cute. They do not look like rodents at all. In fact, I think the reason we call them otter pups is I'm looking at this picture of otter pups and they look like actual dog puppies. They do not look like otters. They look like dogs. But I can bring this up a bit. So he's looking down his nose. That'll help some. Like that. Okay. And then I'll sketch in the rock where he's looking rather than trying to draw it. So we'll do that. Like that. And then. Little easel. There's a little canvas here. Easel action coming off of it. There. Come on, hand. Just work for another freaking 70 minutes. So something that they don't tell you. This is a thing. This is a thing that no one will ever tell you about taking this medication for bipolar disorder. It's a thing that needs to be discussed and no one ever talks about it, mostly because bipolar disorder is the most villainized form of mental health. And so no one with bipolar disorder likes to talk about having bipolar disorder. But there are only two types of medication, really, that treat bipolar disorder. One is lithium. And lithium is a deadly toxin that slowly builds up in your body until it kills you. 100% of people on lithium die young. It kills you. It's a toxin. It's a deadly drug. You can live for years on it, but it will eventually kill you. And that's something that a lot of people with bipolar disorder will tell you it's a trade-off they're willing to make. The other is the drug I'm on, is an anti-seizure medication that causes your hands to not work. It causes tremors and muscle fatigue in your hands all the time. Just makes it impossible to do basic stuff, especially involving manual dexterity, like, say, drawing, illustrations. Oh, and 1% of the people who take it are allergic to it. Like, when you first start taking it, they really monitor you, because if you develop a rash, you have to stop taking it immediately and start taking a drug that cleanses it from your system, because if you have the allergy, it kills you. So, you know, all those fun times. There are no other options other than just being non-medicated. So your option is slow, painful death, or hands that don't work. Okay. This isn't bad. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to figure out how to make this work especially well. All right, we're going to grab our other brush. I'm actually going to pull this nose, I think, a little off center. I'm going to bring it back over here. So I'll come over here. Like that. And then we're going to bring this hand, this, or this side of the nose, really. This one. This. Let's me bring this little mouth down like this and around. So I guess actually that means I need to curve this around here. This. Tuft of fur. That thing. Eyeball. Eye closed. This. Come on. Don't stop working with me now. We'll come down. Little beret. Does not look like a beret at all. Okay. Put over. And the rest of that. This. Just so I know where the head goes, so I can put the beret on it. I'll have the beret hang this side. It's an artist. All painters have to be wearing a beret. That's like a law. I mean, not in reality, but like in cartoon law. In cartoon law, a painter has to be wearing a beret. It's impossible to paint without a beret by cartoon law. And maybe because we got the little mouth open now, we can add little fangies in there like that. That also adds a little bit to the I'm a otter face. I mean, whiskers. All right, now I gotta figure out how I want to do this fist. Because here's the thing with otters. This is otters have little hands. They have little almost people-like hands, but they're also like if people had duck flappers for hands. Like they have webbed hands that are fully articulated. I wear a respirator and coveralls. Well, yeah. I'm like, you're not a cartoon art painter though. So I'm not sure like how I want to have these little webbed hands wrapping around a paintbrush here. I am going to change color though, so that I can see the separation of the brush and the face a little better. So I'm going to have the brush come up. Oops, the rock is here. The brush needs to be like here. I'm a digital artist, so I don't do the thing where I like use a like measure. I like use measurements. How many fingies? They have it looks like 5 fingies. It looks like they have basically human hands that are webbed. So I'm gonna do like this and just kind of make them a little nubby hand, nubby fist, like so. That's not good. That hand's janky. I'm gonna come up and we'll do the pinky side first, and then we'll just connect them across to avoid jank. So like that. There we go. That's not too bad. It looks pretty good. I definitely think the little otter fangs there helped make it look less like a cat. And then same with if I make the feet pointier. Because they also have little claw nailies on their feet. I can't believe someone's gonna come for me someday when they're like, this guy is just constantly searching for animal feet pics on the internet. Their actual feet look like if you took a person's foot and you smashed all of the toes into a seal flipper. That's kind of what their feet look like. Although it looks like they might only have 4 toes on their foot. It's hard to tell. But I'm going to have this come down like this. And over here, this side comes out. I might have made him a little too fat over here, so we'll try to trim that down a little with a little more lean, maybe. That's okay. Yeah, that's there's definitely too much here, but we can go back like this. Give him a little bit more of that noodle shape that they're known for. A little more curvy in his body. That might help some here. So bring this foot back over here. And of course we'll sketch in little belly area here. Little foot. A little shoulder. Oops. Except if this is centerline tum-tum. Centerline tum-tum means that that shoulder gets pulled back to here. And let's see this. And come over. Oh, that's too big. Come over the top of this painting. Come on. Like this. Maybe. I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's have it come back over here. Okay. And then just be covered up by the canvas. So we'll come in here, we'll just draw a little canvas. Like so. I'm sure it's very entertaining watching me yell at myself. Well, from watching the top of my head while I yell at myself. Down. Like that. And I just don't think I like the way their tails look at all either. Realistically, their tails are kind of pointy. But when I draw a tail like that, it looks kind of more like a, I don't know. This looks less like a cat. It does look a little bit more weasel to me than I want it to, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there at least. Yeah, the jerk brain is getting to me tonight. Gotta fight it. Gotta fight the jerk brain. Okay. I think I'm actually going to also make him bigger. Like that. Alright, let's get some ink going. Inking is where I find my sweet spot most of the time anyway. So let's see how it feels here. I'm going to start here. I'm going to use a much thicker brush, I think. I'm going to go even thicker than that. I'm going to go with like a 20. Yeah. And I'm going to turn my smoothing up. Yeah. Like that. Bring this nose around. There we go. That's some satisfying something or other going on there. Bring the smoothing back down for a little bit. And also the size back down. To just do these little thingies. It's kind of neat. They also like weasel, marmot, otter, ferrets are all like the same animal. They're all very similar animals. I mean, they're all the same, like, I don't know, They're related. They're cousins. They're musculidae. Musculidae. You know what I mean? They're all the same, like, family. Those teeth definitely made a difference, though. That was a big step up, I think. I think this ear might be a little too big. So I'm going to try to shrink it down a bit. Like that. And then we'll bring the beret across like so. And across here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that line through so I can trim it off. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm happier with him looking like a weasel than looking like a cat. Although, I guess, like, the Looney Tunes cartoons about Pepe Le Pew were about how when you paint a cat black and white, it looks like a skunk. And I think the skunk are also Musculidae. They're the same, like, family as the rest of these guys are. So not the end of the world, I guess, that he was looking like a cat for a bit. But better not a cat. Damn it. That is definitely looking less cat-like, I think, in general. Yeah. Yeah, and then we'll just bring this arm around like so. Womp. 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 If you don't make noises to yourself while you're drawing, you can't keep all your lines smooth. I had no idea he should use a shell for his paint palette. I had an idea he should use a shell for it. Then I'd have to draw his other hand. That's not a bad idea. I just have hidden his other hand off, like, behind the canvas. But I'll see what I can do as I'm pulling up as we're doing the inking, we can play a little bit and just see where it takes us. So if I was gonna do that, what would that look like here? Let's grab this pencil. So we'd bring that down. Like this, right? Like a little seashell shape here. Little paints in it. And this is actually all would be behind that. I might be able to make that work. I'll probably need to make this shell bigger, probably, but I think I can make it work. Pull it down here, like there. I think it'll work. I think it'll work. I think it actually will look better with the way that the angle on the arm looks better than what I had before anyway. I'm actually going to put you in there so you're not fully. And then I'm just going to. I'm only sketching in enough of this arm to move it behind the canvas. Trying not to let myself overly detail in this shell. But I'm going to have to do a little bit of trimming here. Bring it back. Globs of paint. I'm going to turn the smoothness down. Whatever. Hopefully, that will make sense in the final picture as to what it is. It's a good idea. It's a good idea, and I think it gives the arm a better angle. The sky is starting to rumble. Oh. It is supposed to rain tonight, but not tomorrow or Saturday, last time I checked. Which, I mean, people who don't want it to rain tonight won't be comforted by that, but it means I won't be facing rain at the market. More than likely. So, I'm comforted by that. And I do have my last 50 gummy sharks ready to go to the market tomorrow night. There'll be a bunch of extra vendors at the C Street Market tomorrow night. Apparently, one of the local news shows is coming to check us out. So, a bunch of people who normally would never go to a Thursday market are going to be going to the market. You can tell how thrilled I am about that. Actually, I'm okay with that. It's good. I want Thursday nights to grow a little. The more people, there is a solution to what I'm trying to do and failing at here. I'm trying to just draw a rectangle without screwing the whole thing up. And you know what? Fresco has a built-in draw rectangle tool. So I'll use it. It's not a super great tool, but it works in a pinch. And then I'll come over here and kind of cut this knob like this. And like so. So yeah, if you're not doing anything tomorrow and you want to come hang out at the market, there'll be a bunch of extra people there that aren't normally there, including a news crew. So come on down and hang out. Anybody who wants to. It's sure to be a rip rioting good time. Woohoo! And we'll do here. Like I said, I can't draw a straight line without making certain noises. Just something that's wrong with me as a person, I think. How are you not being cut trimmed? There we go. Nope. Nope. Just cleaning up some line work here. Yeah, that works out. He's way off to one side on his easel here, but I'm not worried about it. And Otter feet, do. Otter feet. Otter tail, do. Otter tail. And one more otter foot. Ought to do it. That looks like crap. There we go. That doesn't look too bad. That's looking more pretty ottery. Especially if I came in here, my line art layer, and like gave him little. Yeah, he's good. He's good. I think he's good. This is a good otter. I'm going to fill this otter with white. So that I can draw that background. I still need to draw the rock in the damn it. I missed a trim line on this brush. Okay. No, don't do it. There's no need to duplicate. That's magic wand. There. Dang it, I keep missing lines. Can't believe how many lines I missed and how completely. I can fix this unbalance on this easel by just trimming off, just crop one side. It'll be fine. Bring it back to proportions that make sense, balance. Like that. I like the drawing noises. It's my process. Oh, okay. And there. Invert this. And this layer. Fill. Yeah, that works. There we go. There we go. All right. This guy's done. He's done for that part. So now I need to sketch in or draw in the actual rock that he was doing his art of. And I'm going to freehand that down here. Just make it very foregroundy. I'm actually going to increase the size of this line weight even more. like really make it foreground like. Because, you know, when things are closer to you, the lines are thicker. That's basic science. All right. And just a little rock. Just a little rock and roll. Then we'll give it a little inverted fill layer. And I'm starting with this pink so I can see where places are like gaps like this where I want to kind of fix that before I move on. It's not a big deal with this black and white where I'm just making things white so they can be different layers of. I think he needs a tummy line connected. His tummy line comes all the way down around. I mean, you think it needs to come back up like that? Or, oh, actually, he might need to come over here. Like that. And a little piece here. Pull that down. Anyway, I was gonna say was really the only reason I do the white fill on these coloring book pages is so that I can work entirely on each layer of the foreground, background, midground, like independently, and not have to worry too much about like trying to work around each other. I'm starting to hear I've got thunder coming on here now too. And then this is how I draw an art frame. And when I'm doing like actual color work, I don't generally worry about doing the fill because I'm doing a bunch of different colors. Although it's a good practice to be into, so like I should get myself used to doing it. Because then you can do multi-layer color stuff by using clipping masks. And just drawing rock. Trying not to put too many curves on the rock because, you know, rocks are inorganic and jagged. So I'm trying not to put too many round shapes. But there we go. I think this is going to be my finished image here. Turn you on. Why are you not white all the way through? What the hell? Oh, this layer is way up here. Why is this layer way up here? Okay, see, that's why we do these things. Let's turn you back to white. And boom. I think this is my Otter. I think this is my Otter oil painter. Looks pretty good if you ask me. Otter oil painter. Painter. All right. Save this going forward. I might have to do a little bit of cleaning up on this in Affinity Photo. You know, just some real basic stuff like thickening the line art up a little bit. Things that I do all the time anyway. But we have O in the bag. That's O in the bag. I love clipping masks and regular mask layers. Yes, that is if there is one tool, like absolutely one tool that makes digital art infinitely easier than physical art, traditional media, it is just layers in general, really. And I try to think in layers when I'm working traditionally too. I just don't have the tools like the ability to set a multiply layer or, you know, things like that. But clipping masks, masks, layers, modifier like layer blend modes are a big deal to me. I do all of the shading I do on all of my art is with multiply layers. I do all of it with multiply layers, usually using color like pulled from the background, maybe a little more desaturated, but like if there's a blue sky, I use a blue, desaturated blue of the side, like take the same color and desaturate, use that as my multiplier. So like that is my entire color process is very layer dependent. So like definitely layers are a big deal. I really like this little dude. This little dude came out well. I'm popping open the wheel of requests. We've got half an hour left on the stream. That's enough time to draw a little dude. Especially if we're just drawing a little dude and not necessarily needing to do anything else. Where's there's the interact button. So I've got a bunch of stuff on the wheel. I can go ahead and spin the wheel and see what we come up with for the last half hour of the stream. I'm glad you like him. I'm glad you love him. Oh, a fork and outlet.
Fork and outlet friends.
Ha 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 ha. This was requested by a woman at the market. She wanted a fork and an electric outlet running away together holding hands. That was literally what she asked me for. So that's what we're going to draw. So I'm going to, again, set my real rough horizon line. And then we'll do... I'm going to sketch in some shapes first. Forks have 4 tines. We'll do a little fork. Little tiny bit of depth to him. Like this. There's a little fork body. And fork needs to have like a running pose. That's not good. We're going to bring it actually down here. I'm going to make this all torso. So this becomes crotch here. And all my glass stuff is backward layers. Yeah. That's when okay, so I've never been good at traditional art for a lot of reasons. Like my head just doesn't grok a lot of parts of it sometimes. It's just a nature of who I am as a person, I think. But something that has helped me get better is the idea of thinking of like the way I am drawing as being layers. Especially once I started using a light board. I have a board, like USB light up LED board. Once I started using that with the traditional art, it made a big difference on how I could think of things as layers. And little shoulder. So this will be one hand here, hand come here, and then we'll be holding hands with the electric outlet. And I think I've seen someone else draw this before. I think the woman who asked me to draw this has seen someone else draw this and didn't know who the artist was, so she asked me to do it. I'm just trying to get matching perspective here. These outlet fits. Electrical outlet. Do. Just need a rough image. There we go. And then I didn't need a whole lot of rough image here. I kind of knew what shape an electric outlet itself was. It's the like parts with the wiring that I was trying to figure out. Lately, I figured something out. When I paint, I make an extra layer so I can have a thin outline around the actual thing. So it's really easy to pull while the paint is wet. But I do that with every layer, so I end up with like 9 layers to 3 colors. But if it works for you, if it's saving you a lot of extra time, I don't see how that can be that can't be a bad thing, right? So like, there's always those trade-offs. But my question, I guess my other question would be like, could you do something similar using masking tape or something that would let you save some of that extra work? Or I don't know anything about your process other than the results are cool. So, grain of salt, all that jazz. All right, let's go. All right, we got 25 minutes, so I need to work quick here, I think. I'm going to minimize the amount of extra sketching I do on the clean sketch layer. What if I just give them both smiley faces? Oh, yeah, what if, like, I wonder if this will still read as an outlet. If I do that, like the outlet holes are its eyes. Oh, I'm gonna draw it in, and we're gonna see how it goes. So, do, and then I can bring this brush size back down quite a bit because this is a smaller canvas. Yeah. there we go. That's what I forgot. I hit reset. So it's like, why is this not smooth as it should be? Because I hit reset, which resets the smoothness also. And this one. And I'm just going to draw a little. Little divot things in between these tines like this. I'm trying something. I'm experimenting on these tines. I don't know if it'll work. Probably not, but we're going to see. We're going to try something. So I got these little guys set like this, and I'm just going to come in here. Oops. A brush, not trimming tool. Bring this back across like this. Oops, that didn't line up well. I think that worked out okay. I should spark on their hands. It should spark on their hands. Oh, yeah. I used the vinyl cutter instead of masking tape, but yeah, I masked stuff off. Okay. I spent a ton of time making sure the layers lines don't intersect. Otherwise, it just curls the vinyl. I get that. There are certain rules I've picked up for doing sticker design with the silhouette. And honestly, it's not so much in the sticker design phase as it is in the vinyl cut phase. When I go in and I set up the cut lines, I make certain adjustments. Some of them, honestly, most of the adjustments I make are more to increase the speed of the cut than really anything else. I like to make my cuts as fast as I can. For obvious reasons. Time is money. Time is money, friend. So I try my best there. That's usually where I make my adjustments, is in the streamlining the cut process. But a lot of that means like going in and making sure any sharp corners are actually rounded off, because the machine will cut faster around a curve than at a sharp point, and cut cleaner at a curve than at a sharp point. So that's a part of it. Come back here. Oops. I want to be quite that thin, but not too thick. That's what I was looking for right there. That's a good fork shoulder. And then I'm actually going to have this hand be like this, and probably just do 3 fingers. I'm having issues. Whoop, there we go. What am I doing here? I'm gonna tackle those hands, those holding hands. Hands being, yeah, I'll deal with those hands in a second. Words are failing me. Me am talk good, talk pro. Professional talk gooder. Internet talk gooder. Ooh, yeah. What if I did that? What if I brought this here like this? It had this face more like this. This has got too much smoothness on it now to do these facial features the way I want it. So I'll turn that down. Dude, that's a happy looking fork. That is a happy fork. And now I'll bring this leg in like this. Oops. Oh, that's good. Yep. And then, oop. Bring you like here. Boop. 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 The fork ran away with the outlet. So, like, the dish ran away with the spoon, so the fork and the outlet had to get together. That's really what this is about here. It's second chance love. You know, we put this with something that says something like, "It's shocking how good we are together." And boom, now I've got an anniversary card. Little electric outlet bits up here. Like this. Oh, I'm glad the Otter turned out good. I was really not happy with the first like 3 dozen iterations of it. And along those lines, I'm glad this outlet and fork image is coming together pretty smoothly, because it makes me feel a little bit better about myself as a person. Also, though, if I'm being completely fair, part of the thing with this is that my hand has steadied back out now, so that helps quite a bit. Those hand trimmers suck. I can't get rid of. There's nothing I can do about it. I guess I could try that tardive dyskinesia medicine that they're always promoting on TV, but I don't want to take more medication at this point. Then I'll have a side effect from that medication. I'll have to take a different medication to overcome. Damn it. Dang it. I think I might be following my reference image of my outlet a little too close here. I can't even guarantee the outlet I'm looking at is an American outlet. Not that that means much to me, but, you know. So I'm going to have this leg up here like this. I'm going to shorten that up a little bit. I'm going to draw the foot in first. Sometimes you do a thing and then you're like, oh no, this would look better this way. And it's not that the other thing was bad. It's just that, you know, sometimes you do a thing and you're like, it'll look better this way. Do you want to change it? Do it that way. Oh, that's what I'm doing. Oh. Oh. And okay, once again, I need to resize a thing. Bring it back down. The outlet is so much shorter than the fork, and that actually makes sense. That actually makes sense. When I think about it, outlet is shorter than fork. Right? Like, we can all agree outlet is shorter than fork. That outlet is definitely not to code. All new outlets have a ground strap available for safety. For the record, the one I'm looking at does actually have the little mouth bit. And I thought about drawing it in, and it has not only that, but it's got like the this part on it. So it's a little mouth. Actually, from looking at it, like it's got a little mouth bit, and a little this part, and it's actually got a little like whole thing here. Bring your hand up like this. But yeah, fork is definitely taller than outlet. That's just a thing that's gonna be true. We'll have fingers from outlet like here. And then dang it, Bobby. Fork fingers like this over this way. And a little mess of fingers. And then, yeah. Little lightning bolts coming off of their hands. Oops. Although, honestly, I should be drawing these lightning bolts with a different tool than the one I'm using right now. There we go. And we'll delete that layer group. We don't need it anymore. We don't need that sketch anymore. We've got the line art done. Outlet is shorter than fork. Yes, outlet is shorter than fork. Outlet and fork are friends. Outlet is shorter than fork. I'm going to have this, and again, like doing things that are not necessarily realistic, but that will make this light art a little bit cuter, I think, is bring this part down here around behind butt. So okay. Oh, you know what? Outlet only has one hand. We can give outlet another arm. Coming out into little fingies. There we go. Fork and outlet, they're the best of friends. Oh. I don't need that line. Use a little there. And maybe. Nah, I don't need it. Don't need it. This works. All right. And it is 9:52. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a night. I guess I could take the 8 minute. I got 8 minutes left. I could color this in. So we'll delete this layer. We'll grab this because a good color for fork. Boop, 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 boop. And the metal parts, oops, on outlet. Outlet's like, I'm made of galvanized steel. No worries about me catching on fire. And then the outlet, I'll go in farther. The reference image I'm using is from Amazon. It is an industrial heavy duty grade duplex for spectacle straight blade isolated ground orange. It's an orange outlet. It's like extra heavy duty. And it has screws that I did not draw on over like on these sides. But I'm not going to make it orange. I'm going to make it very subtle porcelain gray. Do, do, do. And then a darker gray on the back half. Because that's how outlets are shaped or colored. Boop. That. Oh. Their leg goes there. And then outlets thumb, outlets fingers. And forks fingers. And then, of course, electricity is yellow. I know electricity is blue, but sparky sparks are yellow, right? Like, that's how we do it. And then just my standard mouth palette. There we go. And we'll come up to this level. And we'll just do like a blue shadow system. Do 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 do. And just real fast. I'm knocking these shadows super fast. Way faster than I normally would. Honestly, shading is one of my favorite parts of the process. A lot of the time, it's when I really feel like I get to show off the things I've been practicing. Because, like, adding depth is a thing that I've been really practicing on for the last year or so. A lot of the art inspiration I take is very much like flat 2D art, and so there's not always a lot of depth to it. And so it's something I've wanted to really learn. And also, like, we were talking about, like, I'm not great at traditional media. Something I really want to master at some point is I really, really want to get better at doing black and white ink art. And like that pure just hashed for shading. It's something I've always wanted to be better at. I really want to just nail like that Frank Frazetta style black and white punk rock style kind of art. And boom. with 3 minutes left to spare, there is our fork and outlet friends. I'm going to grab my yellow, and I'm just going to come in here on a whole new layer and do S H O C K I G. Oops, that G sucks. Also, my letters were getting bigger as they went along. I'm going to curve you. So I can do that. You have room for that G. Shocking. Friendship. Honestly, this is very bad. I'm not gonna sit here and make you guys watch me do that. I love doing lettering. Lettering takes a lot of time to do well for me. Anyway, my process is not great. So I'm not gonna sit here and letter because I don't want it to look like crap. But I'm going to add shockingly good friends to this this image. And you know what I think it needs is, like, we'll do an electric blue background, and I'll just grab like my same shading color here and multiply layer. Just do a real subtle duo shade tone background, like so. There we go. There is outlet and fork friend. They are friends. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me, Leo. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for sitting through my jerk brain problems that I was having earlier. Thank you for sticking around and helping me through that. I'm glad you enjoy the Otter image, which will go up on Patreon before the end of the week. I'll get the newest coloring pages up over there, so anyone on the Patreon, any paid member of the Patreon, can download those coloring book pages and enjoy them. Print them off for yourself. I have the materials to print those coloring books here in the house when they are ready to go, at least some like prototype versions on just printer paper. I think it'll be pretty fun. I've got an idea for how I want to pull that off, and it's just, this will be a learning experience for me on some lower quality materials to make some prototypes for people to play with before I invest in really knocking out some really good high quality ones. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you had a good time. It is 10 o'clock on a Wednesday night, and that means not a whole lot, honestly. I will be at the C Street City Market tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. with the last 50 Sugar Sharks. You can come get your own Sugar Shark if you have not already. Otherwise, if you're a member of the Patreon and you're on the early adopters tier of the sticker pack, you don't have to worry about it. I'll mail them to you next month with your May sticker pack. And then don't forget to vote. If you have not yet voted for the sticker pack, you don't have to worry about it. I'll mail them. It's Twitch. Don't forget to vote if you have not yet voted for Twitch Chill Chair for the sticker of the week. And if you join the Discord, you can vote for the Angry Ant earlier than anyone else. You will start voting tomorrow. Everyone else has to wait till Sunday. I've been Matt Brotherton. This Taco Viking Studio is where you can TacoVikingStudios.com is where you can buy cool stuff with my art on it. Go out there, stay safe, stay dry. The storms are rolling in again. Stay warm, stay cozy, but most importantly, remember as always to stay weird. Thank you for watching. Have an absolutely amazing evening. I'll see you next time. Good night.